I'm going to drop this little video nugget for you today. And I was going to start off this video by apologising for, not having my hair done and still being in the shirt that I woke up in on a Sunday morning. But you know what? The most important part of this video is this. I don't need to show up pretty or done or in suitable attire. I don't need to show up as any of those things, because all of those things put the highest value of when you see me on how I look. And the more I dive into this work with women in terms of really bringing us back to the truth of who we are, the more I realize that this and this is nothing. The more I see myself as the expression of who I be, what I do, or how I look, or how I show up. I show up like this today because, fuck it, I feel like it. And you can judge me if you want. However, my invitation would be for you in that judgment, which part of you feels so fundamentally uncomfortable with not being done to be seen in public? It's an interesting concept, isn't it? So that's part one of this video. Let's just really unpack this expectation around how we as women need to show up. How we as women are encouraged to believe that we owe something to the world outside of us, of us. We don't. We don't owe anyone outside of us anything. Anything. And if that's a concept we can land today, and you can come away from this video really journeying. Oh, hang on. That's a big gap from where I am now, where I feel like I owe thanks for maybe the job I'm in. I owe a depth of gratitude for maybe the relationship I'm in. Maybe I am always coming from the perspective of thank you for choosing or giving me something. And that's simply not true. That's simply not true. We don't owe anyone anything. If someone gives me a gift, then that is their choice to bestow upon me the thing they have given me. This narrative we have around oh, hang on, you've given me this thing, now I need to show gratitude. That's all in very pervasive, insidious, covert terms that all of our relational activities are transactional. I've given you this, you owe me this. I've given you a space on the internet, you owe me pretty. I've given you a space to work with me, to mentor me, to guide me, you owe me done. This little relational dynamic we have between these two poles, this is as women what we need to visit. Right? Because if we had good boundaries, good, healthy, personal boundaries about who we are and how we be and how we show up, we would not step into the space of you've given me something, now I must owe you. Now I must give you something back. Good boundaries says thank you so much for the gift you have given me. I am truly grateful for it. That is that. This is not a running tally sheet. How we perceive ourselves and how we show up in our relationships is not a tally sheet of I did this, you do that. That is not how this works. When we have good boundaries, we are grateful for the way that we show up in our world and how that demonstrates to others how to show up for us. Not this space of thank you so much for being my friend, now I owe you something. oh, that's so great that they gave me this thing. That's not how it works. When we know our worth and we accept who we are, we understand that when we are in relation to ourselves or anyone else, it is simply a matter of us showing up in our truest, most authentic version. Us, ourselves, this unit of oneness. Who am I and how do I want to be? Not even so much what do I want to do. How do I want to be? Pretend for a minute that every slate has been wiped clean, right? If you cannot grasp around this concept of it is not selfish to just be self-focused. So imagine for a moment that every slate, every scorekeeping card you have had for your life has been wiped clean and there is nothing there. You don't owe anyone anything. And you're in this beautiful space where you understand your unique value and gift you are to the world and those around you. And you know, merely by showing up, that is gift enough to those around you. That you don't, in fact, need to give more, control more, be more understanding, show up more, abandon yourself more to serve the needs of others. That, in fact, the only need you need to serve is your own. The only need. And in this world that you're now living in, where there are no debts and the slates are wiped clean, the people that you've invited into this world of yours, of your creation, of your doing, of your being, they are there purely to be in your presence. Not because they're going to give you something and they're going to get something back from you. The gift of you is enough for them. To be surrounded by your light and your love and your energy is enough for them. That's the gift. What would it feel like for you if you just allowed yourself to show up in your full authenticity without resentment, without the stories and the triggers and the highly charged situations where we're not just responding to what's happening now, we're bringing the baggage of everything before that with us to this conversation. What would it be like if you could just step out of that and know that you show up in love and authentic presence, and that your knowing is that's what will surround you? What would that feel like?